trialling some new developments this weekend, but some of them have failed quality control. Make sure you indicate what you'd like redeveloped via the workstation.
Hello guys, Turbocharged51 over here! I hope you're having a splendid day so far wherever in the world you are and wherever in the world you're watching from. Other than that, unfortunately we start off this episode once again with bad news. 2 of the parts that we have bought for the car have failed, but 3 out of 5, it's still better, it's still more than 50%, so something to look forward to. Guys, as you can see here, Ferrari has edged closer to Mercedes again, they're on level picking. Red Bull has hit a little bit of a dry patch, then Renault have upgraded in front of Haas again, and then it's us and Sauber also further going into the upgrades. But with the 2 upgrades failing, I am not above McLaren, I am only matching them at this stage, which is, to me, is quite a problem because I would really like to go above them, and they are so close to Force India. It would be amazing if I can catch them, because that means I am definitely into the midfield. Points are going to be easier to achieve, and I'm going to be at a much better place in the championship. But other than that, let's head to qualifying. So we're here in the pit box at the Les Castellets track in France. If I pronounce the name of the track wrong, please don't kill me. I am not good with French. I'm barely good with English, so bear with me, guys. Other than this, here I'm heading out for my first qualifying laps. To be honest with you guys, the first one was not anything special, and as you guys know, my second lap I just cruise around to get my tire temps down again and go for a second shot on my third lap. I'm only going to show you guys the third lap because the first one was actually really bad, and the second one not actually much better. As you guys can see, I did a 32, well, a low 32, and I didn't improve by much. I only go into the 32 zeros. I'm still not into the 31s, and at this stage you guys will see I am not far up the field. As we go to that screen now, I think I was like 17th or something. Here we go, you guys can see I'm 19th, so I needed to get a big chunk of time to get into quali 2, which I really badly wanted. But because my car is not a midfield car just yet, it was still going to be hard to get out of Q1. But we head on to the middle of my third and final lap. Here you guys can see why I actually love this track. It's so flowing, and it stays flowing while being tight and twisty, and that's not an easy thing to accomplish for people that make tracks. But still, this is really just an amazing track to drive. I love France, even though it's new to the F1 calendar. I completely love this track. We head on here onto the final straight, open the DRS, and we go across the line. You guys can see I gained a significant chunk of time, but it's still only P18. I was very sad at this point because I really wanted to get into qualifying too, but slowly but surely we'll get the pace there. As you guys can see, it's going to be a wet race when we start, so this is going to be interesting. Let's see what happens.
Hello and welcome to the Circuit Paul Ricard, current home of the French Grand Prix, an event dating all the way back to 1906. It's been held at many venues over the years, with famous moments from Dijon and Manicourt the feature of many a highlights reel. And let's hope we see more of those in the race today. We have 15 corners here at the Circuit Paul Ricard, 6 to the left and 9 to the right. The rain is coming down and making for a slippery racing surface, but luckily there is plenty of runoff available, and hopefully we'll be able to avoid bringing out a safety car during today's Grand Prix. We're almost ready to go then, and this is what the starting grid looks like for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Verstappen, Daniel Ricciardo and Perez, Sainz, Magnussen, Raikkonen. They've taken a grid penalty, and Nico Hülkenberg, Alonso, Leclerc, Pierre Gasly and Grosjean, Van Dorn, Ericsson, O'Connor and Esteban Ocon, Stroll and Sergei Sirotkin rounds off the grid. And now it's time to head down to the track.
Okay, watch out at the race start. There will be faster cars trying to get past. See if you can hold them off.
Guys, just a quick word on my strategy. This actually meant nothing because the conditions were going to dry up. I was going to have to do everything from the car, so all that mattered here was my fuel. So we're back with a commentary, and as you guys can see here, it's quite a slow start for everyone. In the wet conditions it's very hard to actually be fast because it's so sketchy on track, because with these cars that don't have traction control and basically the car having more horsepower than it weighs, getting grip in the wet conditions is nearly impossible. And the AI on F1 2018 are extremely OP in the wet conditions. It's been complained about not just by me, by a lot of F1 YouTubers, but still, I don't see it as a negative thing. I always try and see the positive. It gives a bigger challenge to the player. Yeah, so you know what? Stop complaining about stupid stuff that bothers you about a game. If it's really big problems, then you can complain. But if it's stupid stuff, just man, live with it and go on. It's not always the worst. But otherwise, back to race commentary. You guys can see Lewis Hamilton is leading the way with his teammate Valtteri Bottas in second, Sebastian Vettel in third, Daniel Ricciardo is fifth, and Max Verstappen is in fourth. In sixth place is the Force India of Esteban Ocon. But here we jump to my start quickly, guys. I have to be honest, I got an excellent start, if I have to say so myself. I thought I was going just to kill the car with oversteer, and I actually had very good throttle control even though I played on the pad. You guys can see I dive up the inside of like 5-6 cars. I even make a little bit of contact with Nico Hulkenberg, which was not meant. I even get a warning to say warning for collision. But other than that, the warning came a little bit later, as you guys can see where we jump onto replay camera. I dive up the inside of Nico Hulkenberg, barely avoid the Haas. I don't know if that's Grosjean or Magnussen, but I barely avoid it. Nico goes back up my inside, but I just make a dive up into this next few corners. I push the Haas a little bit wide. I was a little bit rude there, but it's racing. You can't always be a gentleman. Sometimes you have to give them a little bit of a cold shoulder. But onwards there, you guys can see I had an amazing start. I am on the back of Kimi Räikkönen, who had a penalty. Well, not on the back, but I'm behind him. In front of Kimi, the Renault of, I think, Carlos Sainz. Yes, Carlos Sainz and Esteban Ocon are battling away, and they're actually keeping Kimi up quite a lot. As you guys can just quickly see here, now I'm definitely on the back of them because of them holding each other up and holding Kimi up. We go here into this next right-hander that in the dry is a flat-out corner, but in the wet you have to lift with the throttle. Kimi is on the rear end of that Force India, but just without DRS in the wet conditions. As you guys know, as soon as the track gets wet, DRS gets disabled. That's the rear wing that opens and closes, and I catch Kimi sleeping completely, and I just dive up the inside. Actually, the Haas there, I think that's Kevin Magnussen. For all sake and purpose, let's say it's Magnussen. And Magnussen even tries to make a move on Kimi, the junior Ferrari team, and he's still side by side with Kimi as we go into the final corners. Kimi keeps the inside line, keeps it tight. Magnussen just slots in behind him, and I, in front of them, make a move on Esteban Ocon, and on the very last corner, I get the better grip out of the corner, and I just fly away from Esteban. I don't know what was going on with me, but I wanted positions clearly. I was just going for gold on this first lap as we head into the second lap. Now you guys will see here the Renault was starting to break away a bit. I tried to catch up, but that's not the easiest thing to do with a car that has much better pace than me. You guys can see it just on the back straight of the second lap. Kimi Räikkönen pulls out from behind Esteban Ocon. He goes down here. That Ferrari's got just as much power as that Force India. I think the Force India is slightly ahead, but still, I'm sure Kimi saved up his ERS, and he has actually to fight a little bit for it. Ocon is not just letting Kimi go, which I like to see. Come on, Esteban. And they're going down to this fast right-hander, and I think Kimi's got the move. Yep, he slots in front of Esteban Ocon to get the perfect line through this corner, and Kimi has made the move stick. So, guess who's Kimi going for next? As we head on to lap 5, Kimi Räikkönen, the Flying Finn, is on the rear end of my little Toro Rosso Honda. As you guys can see, he comes up my outside. I block the inside line. I don't want Kimi to pass me. I knew this was for position, and in the wet I was much more competitive than in the dry. I keep my inside line, but Kimi actually locks up and goes wide, just actually gifting me the position back, and I have a brilliant run out of that corner, and I kept Kimi on, well, behind me for quite a while, but he kept me honest. As you guys can see, we go into the pits on the end of lap 5. I already felt that the car was ready for intermediate conditions, so I was the first car to go in because I knew that I was on the faster tire, so the chances of me keeping my position was very high. Onto the intermediates, and we blast out of the pit box. We come out P20, but still, when these guys pit, I was going to just shoot ahead of them. So let's see what happens now.
One stop left.
So just a quick word there from my engineer, and we blast into the first corner. I could immediately feel that there was more grip. I could have had more confidence on the tires. On the very next lap, the leader Lewis Hamilton dives into the pit lane, but we're not looking for all these guys that are pitting from the lead. Oh boy, this is going to be a double stack mayhem in the pit lane. There comes Vettel. He's going to jump Bottas because of Mercedes double stacking. Dumb mistake from Mercedes. There's Bottas' pit stop. The Red Bulls are in, the Renaults are in, everybody is in. Everybody sees that the intermediate tires are the tire to be on. But where's Kimi? We want to look at Kimi. Here's Kimi Räikkönen onto the intermediate tires. Kimi is out of the pit box. Where is Kimi going to rejoin? Because that's the question. Is he going to be ahead of me, or is he going to be behind me? Who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Come on, this pit lane is so long. And Kimi gets on the throttle, and here we go. Where am I? Where am I? And I am comfortably ahead. It was smart to go for the undercut just a lap before these guys. So now I was in a comfortable position on not fresher tires, but on wet tires it's not as bad as on dry tires. The very next lap, Max Verstappen, who stayed out one extra lap on the wet tires, which was a big mistake because he was so slow. He comes into the pit on the end of lap 7, and he's just going to have a quick pit stop onto the intermediate tires. And After he exits the pit, we're quickly going to run through the top 10 so you guys can know where everybody stands in the top 10 at the moment. Here we have Lewis Hamilton blasting across the line, taking back the lead. In second place is the number one to watch the Red Bull, is Sebastian Vettel, who is a fair bit behind but catching. Third place is Valtteri Bottas, fourth is Daniel Ricciardo, and fifth Max Verstappen comes out of the pit lane, and he is in sixth. Fifth position. Sixth position is Carlos Sainz. Seventh, myself. Eighth, Kimi Raikkonen. In ninth position, who is in ninth position? Ninth position is Kevin Magnussen in his Haas, and 10th position is rounded out by the second Renault of Nico Hulkenberg. That's how the top 10 stands at this stage.
You're losing a small amount of time to the car behind. Keep pushing. Radar's showing a clear patch on its way. There's about 10 more minutes of this rain. Inters look like the best tyre for now.
We're back with me and Raikkonen, and as you guys can see, that red Ferrari is on the back of my Toro Rosso's gearbox like a raging bulldog looking at a fresh piece of meat. We head on here onto the back straight. Kimi gets a brilliant drive out of those last two corners, and he comes up behind me. I initially blocked the inside, but Kimi still goes to the inside, as you guys can see there. He goes at the inside into the braking zone. I keep my line, we don't touch. I still keep my line, and I just block him off for the second part of the chicane. We head here onto this, basically the second back straight, and Kimi actually does not pull into my slipstream, so the chances of him making a move is not big. We go here into this part of the track, and stuff is just going amazing. We head here onto lap 15, and unfortunately the Renault of Carlos Sainz ahead of me. Guys, I had no answer for him. He was just bolting away with the two Mercs, the remaining Ferrari of Sebastian Vettel and the two Red Bulls. So other than this, there was nothing I could do, but let's quickly hear what my engineer has to say.
Okay, we're definitely seeing some signs of abrasion on your tyres now. They should still be good to run on, but they won't be at their best. Degradation is pretty bad, the grip is going to fall away quickly.
Not the news you want to hear from your engineer at such a critical stage of the race. Thank you, Jeff, for just basically giving me the shock of my life, and you guys can see the effects of my tires coming true here. I get a big kick of oversteer that forces me to run over the curb, and Kimi gets the best run on me. He goes for a major dive on the outside to give him the inside for the next corner. At this stage, I just wanted the position back so badly because I knew how much that 7th position meant for points for our team. I hit the car into rich fuel mixture and overtake on the ERS. I stay in his slipstream until the very last second, and up the inside of the corner, Kimi jolts to the right, and I go up the inside, defending my position successfully. Not that I think it's gonna last long, because he's gonna be up my gearbox again very, very soon. Further than that, guys, let's quickly once again run through the top 10 at the end of lap 18. This is Lewis Hamilton. As you guys can see, he's still leading the race. He's dominating this race basically, so I think you guys can tick the box of saying Lewis Hamilton is going to win another Grand Prix. He's on a roll and he doesn't seem that he can be stopped. Sebastian Vettel is still in second position, trying to catch Hamilton, but not to any avail. Valtteri Bottas in the second, Mercedes is third, with the two Red Bulls of Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen coming through in fourth and fifth. Then in sixth position is this beautiful yellow and black Renault of Carlos Sainz, who is busy outperforming his bigger teammate Nico Hulkenberg. Further than that, me and Raikkonen are coming through the last corner of this at this very moment. I'm still ahead of Raikkonen, but he's back up my gearbox. I come through in 7th position over the line at the end of lap 18, start lap 19, with Kimi in 8th position. 9th position is still Kevin Magnussen in the junior Ferrari team, the Haas, and Nico Hulkenberg in the final Renault still rounds out the top 10. As you guys can see here, my teammate Pierre Gasly comes out of the final corner and dives into the pit lane. At this stage, we all realized, the top 10 that have already passed the pit lane, that it was time for dry tires. So these guys were going to take a big chunk out of our time for all the guys not in the top 10 to put them in top 10 contention. Pierre Gasly goes onto the soft tires, which is the hardest compound. I don't think that was the smartest choice because the race was at a stage where the super soft would easily make it to the end. The second half of Grosjean also goes into the softs. Here we have, I think, Fernando Alonso. Yes, it's Stoffel Van Dorn, sorry. He also goes onto the softs. Then other than that, we have the Sauber of Charles Leclerc coming in. I could see he was going on to super softs. Here's the Force India of, I think, Esteban Ocon, also Joe Perez. Both Force Indias actually are on super soft tires. And here we have the Williams of Sergei Sorokin coming out also on super soft tires. And guys, it was just nuts in the pit lane for this race. Here's Lance Stroll, he went onto soft tires, and here are the front runners who have already caught those back markers. They all go onto super soft tires. You guys can see the second Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas. I almost said Stoffel Van Dorn, don't ask me why, comes into the pit. And Ferrari, and Red Bull are double stacking, not Ferrari. There goes the second Red Bull. I think Verstappen just lost out on the podium position. Here comes Carlos Sainz, the sixth man. And here comes me and Kimi Raikkonen. Whose pit crew was going to be quicker? The Flying Finns Ferrari pit crew or the little Scuderia Toro Rosso's pit crew? My pit crew. Kimi dives it in. He goes in, Ferrari are ready for him. They take off the intermediates and put on the super soft tires. Here I am, off with the inters, on with the super softs, and I am out in front of Kimi. I get held up by the horse, but I'm still out in front of Kimi. Oh, small heart attack at that stage, like a teeny tiny one. But I'm fine. So here I was able to get a little gap. I think Kimi was also a little bit slow on the pit stop because Vettel was in front of him, and the pit crew wasn't really ready for him, but it's not the end of the world. We head here onto the beginning of lap 20, and Kimi is pressuring me so badly, guys. This was now dry conditions again, so that Ferrari is basically running the same pace as the two Mercedes, the two Red Bulls, and his teammate of the Ferrari up front. So it's the car that is basically a championship winning car, and to keep this little Toro Rosso still in contention, yeah, it's very hard to do that. But still, I was going to give it my all, not just going to give up the position. Kimi was going to have to fight for it. We head here onto the back straight, and now, as you guys will know, DRS has been enabled because of the dry conditions. Kimi opens his rear wing, as you guys can see there. He comes blasting up my outside into the braking zone, into the corner. Kimi goes a little bit deeper to keep the line. He stays there. He's ahead of me. You guys can see the grip is so much better on the slicks, but I'm still behind him. Overtake on my ERS that I know I used it, and we go here through this flat out right-hander. I had to back off a bit because I would run into the back of Kimi. I go up the inside of this next right-hander. I almost want to call it a full hairpin, a very long hairpin, but still, I'm back up into 7th position. I was not just going to hand this position to Kimi Raikkonen because it was the dire stages of the race. We head on to lap 21, and Kimi is still behind me, and I don't even care what my engineer has to say, but the car behind me and the car ahead of me, I don't care. I was just focusing so badly on keeping this position. But the thing is, if I had to use my ERS on the straights, during the corners I couldn't try and get away from Kimi by using my ERS. I had to put it on none so I could save enough ERS for the straight. As you guys can see, we head up to the second to last corner until you head onto the back straight. Here we go, this last little left kick, which is the final corner before the back straight, and we're on the back straight. Kimi is right behind me, not giving me any room to breathe, and he goes up my inside. I think this might be tickets, and the Haas of Kevin Magnussen and the Renault of Nico Hulkenberg are catching up so quick it's not even funny. Kimi does the same move he did the previous lap, and he's up the position. Will I be able to pull off the same trick I did the previous lap? I don't think so. I think Kimi has made the move stick. Come on, little Toro Rosso, give it everything you've got. We go up here. I have a look, but Kimi just outbrakes me. And if I braked any later than that, I would have hit Kimi on the side, and it was just a chaos. I would have ended my race and his race, which was just not worth it. So at this stage of the race, it was for 4 championship points between me, Kevin Magnussen, and Nico Hulkenberg. But even Magnussen is hindering me from behind, and he is not stopping. He's just after Kimi passed me. He's just like, okay, I'll have a crack at that. You guys see we get ahead out of the final corner. Magnussen opens the DRS on the main straight, and he's up. Oh, he's going for the outside line. I block the inside. Is he going to make the move stick? We break up into the first corner. Magnussen is right behind me. Oh, almost made contact there. Up the outside for the second part of the chicane. I'm still side by side with Kevin Magnussen. This is a brilliant battle. Come on, little Toro Rosso. We're not giving up now. We can still get points. I'm so late onto the brakes, and I go around the outside. I think Kevin Magnussen at the stage was like, oh, come on. You have been a brick in the road this entire race. Just get out of the way. And I was just like, no way, Jose. If you want the position, you are going to have to fight for it. And while we were fighting, Nico Hulkenberg and the Renault behind us were just like, okay, boys, you keep fighting. I'll come up from behind. You guys can see ahead of him. Kevin Magnussen goes for a move up the back straight, but I block it off quite nicely. Not any dirty moves. I just give K-Mag a little bit of a squeeze. And now Nico Hulkenberg is right up the chuff of us. And now it was going to start being a fight. And I'm back, guys. Don't think I just disappeared. I just grabbed a quick drink of water because at this stage of the commentating my throat was so dry, and because of the wet conditions at the start of the race, it is so hard to commentate for this long on a race, but still, I'm doing it. I'm giving you guys the best possible content I can create at this stage, so let's go. We head on to the beginning of lap 23, and I was still ahead of Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hulkenberg, and here you guys will see Daniel Ricciardo is battling for third position with the second Mercedes of Valtteri Bottas, and he makes the move stick up the inside of that flat out right-hander. I don't think Valtteri appreciated that at all. We head here on to lap 25, and Valtteri goes for a dive on the outside and then the inside of Daniel Ricciardo. Ricciardo keeps the inside line for the third corner that they're side by side with, and with all due respect, Daniel, I don't think you're going to keep that man behind you on the straight because it's got literally tons more power than you. You guys can see here, Valtteri just, I don't know how, he blasts past Daniel Ricciardo effortlessly. Ricciardo's gonna have to try and make a move again and see if he can build a gap, but there's only 2 laps to go. We head here back for the battle for 8th, 9th and 10th position. Oh boy, my tongue is twisting. I'm getting so excited at this stage. Between me, Kevin Magnussen and Nico Hulkenberg. As you guys can see, we're also almost onto the back straight, and Nico Hulkenberg is looking keen to make a move on Kevin Magnussen, but still Kevin Magnussen is going to have DRS because he's less than a second behind me. You guys can see we're on the POV of Nico Hulkenberg. He opens the rear flap for the DRS. He comes up the inside of Kevin Magnussen. The Renault's got the overspeed so badly on the Haas into the braking zone. I am actually a little bit safe, but Nico Hulkenberg makes the move not stick yet. Come on, Nico. Him and Kevin Magnussen are side by side through this second back straight. Who's going to have the upper hand heading into this flathead right-hander? I think it's going to be Kevin Magnussen because he's on the inside. But Nico blocks off the move. Brilliant move, Nico Hulkenberg. Brilliant move, my boy. That takes a lot of balls. In any case, lap 26, you guys can see Daniel Ricciardo goes for the move again on the same corner, and they touched wheels there. Oh my soul. 2 battles at 2 different parts of the field for big points paying positions for all the teams that are involved. You guys can see at lap 26 we head onto the straight that Daniel Ricciardo and Valtteri Bottas just passed on, and Nico Hulkenberg is up my gearbox with Kevin Magnussen right beside him. Kevin Magnussen gets the overspeed of both slipstreaming and DRS. It's going to be 3 wide into the chicane of the first back straight, into the braking zone, hard onto the brakes. I keep my line, I make a little bit of contact with Kevin Magnussen. Oh, Magnussen bumps me off the track. I have to take avoiding action. I didn't get a penalty because it was avoiding action. I don't know what happened there. Kevin Magnussen comes up my inside. Come on, Toro Rosso, we can't lose this place with 2 laps to go. On the outside, keep it in, keep it in, keep it in, keep it in, keep it in. Just over the curb, bounce the car over the curb. Keep the outside line, but Kevin Magnussen is still there. Come on, Toro Rosso! Let's go, my boy! Yes! Yes! We defend the position. Oh, I'm out of breath already and I just took a sip of water. Here's the view from Kevin Magnussen's car, guys. He gets the overspeed on both me and Nico, and he's just in the middle. He's sandwiched between the Toro Rosso and the Renault. I make a slight bit of contact, and that's... Nico nearly spun him, and that's why he collided with me. Oh boy, drama. I don't think Nico's front wing broke, but still, How on earth did Kevin Magnussen survive that and still have the guts to try and get the position away from me? You guys can see how it looks from the replay camera. I keep my outside line, even though he's still there on the inside. I just get the better run out of that corner. You're gonna see it now from Nico Hulkenberg's point of view, guys. Don't ask me how I defended that position, because I honestly don't know how. Nico got the worst of this entire sequence. He's on the outside being passed by the horse, but he keeps his foot in, goes for a dive, and then he just, oh my soul, he nearly loses the back end of his car as well. Brilliant car control, Nico, brilliant car control. And we head on to the final lap with Valtteri Bottas behind Daniel Ricciardo, and once again the Mercedes is just going to sail past the Red Bull because of the power advantage. Poor Daniel Ricciardo is just a sitting duck. There's nothing you can do about it. I'm sorry, Daniel, it's bad, my man, but you're in a Red Bull. Just start upgrading the engine, my friend. Just start upgrading the engine. But as you guys can see, we head onto the final corner for Lewis Hamilton, once again going to win a Grand Prix. How are we going to stop him?
You must be really happy. You gained a lot of positions during the race, didn't you? We all underestimated you, didn't we? Appreciate your time.
We're back, guys, and with an epic race like that and all that stress off of our shoulders, I can't say that this video does at least deserve a like from your side. Unfortunately, guys, I failed my teamwork objective once again to qualify 11th or above. That's like one of the hardest things to qualify that high in a car this low, but I promise I'll put more effort into the team goals next time. And yeah, let's head into the contract negotiations and see what deal I can get Toro Rosso to give little old me.
Excellent result today. Finishes like that will look good on your contract reviews. On to the next one. Our proposal has been accepted. The new contract will take effect from the next race weekend.
So, the contract's done and dusted, and let's quickly see what we do for the upgrades. I repurchase the chassis and power upgrade, and I still have enough resource points left to purchase a 5th aerodynamic upgrade. But other than that, guys, that has been this episode. Thank you for sticking to the end here. It means a lot to me. Hit the like, hit the subscribe. Don't forget to ding the bell so you never miss a future video. And I hope you are as excited as I am to see this car perform. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!